This is the Sonic X Shadow Generations experience. Oh, of course, a classic move on Sega with the Digital Deluxe Edition. With it, you can play the game 3 days early, get a few skins, get some extra music, and a digital art book. I am so tired of games doing this crap. Like, just sell us the entire game just as is. And what's worse is I feel like I'm saying this every year, and then nothing changes, because nobody changes their behaviors. What is wrong with people? Why does the brightness screen make Sonic look like he's gonna kill me when I'm asleep tonight at 3 a.m.? They added in the drop dash, but I honestly can't say I'm surprised. It's become quite common in Sonic titles as of late. The visuals have been spruced up a bit as well. The game looks a bit more cleaned up, although that's not saying much. It looked great even 10 plus years ago. Look at all those Chow hanging out at the birthday party. If only Sega would add a Chow Garden to a Sonic game again. Haha, they won't. Some of the dialogue and animations have been tweaked as well. Classic Sonic isn't called fat anymore, Knuckles isn't slammed into a tree from Amy, and Amy just isn't as flirty with Sonic. While a lot of these changes are pointless and might remove a fraction of charm the original cutscenes had, I also don't care at all. It's a Sonic game. I'm not here for a compelling story. The only change I don't like is Amy not being as flirty with Sonic, as that alters her core personality traits way too much, but otherwise, who gives a sh**?
Is it just me, or does Green Hill look different?
Not really, it always looks like that. I love how Tails isn't sure if he remembers Chemical Plant Zone. Like, bro, you've 100% drowned there in the past, like, yeah, I'm sure, well actually maybe he has brain damage now, maybe you don't remember. Hey, you know what, makes sense. Well, you don't have to put in a code anymore to see all these random statues that nobody remembers exist, so that's cool. Omochao has a shop where you can equip skills and upgrade some of modern and classic Sonic's moves. This isn't a new thing or anything, but it's still really nice to have a way to upgrade your abilities. And speaking of Chow, you can find them as new collectibles in all the stages. It's basically just like having more red rings, but it's still nice to have a bit more replay value. Holy sh**, the Casino Night Zone music slaps. Wait, you can boost as 3D Sonic in the pinball machine? Now that's just silly. Who the hell's gonna take 700 seconds on this challenge? Isn't that a bit much? I gotta admit though, this Amy mission is a really clever use of her hammer attack. It kind of reminds me of how she used to work in the advanced games. So first off, this Knuckles challenge kinda sucks because you're told the exact spots where the coins are, which is way different compared to getting hints for the gems in Adventure 1 and 2. And second off, it's playing a remix of Sonic 3D Blast but the Sega Saturn version of the music. That is the most absurd and amazing pick for a remix ever. How did Sonic not make it through the door? You literally have the power of boost. Oh boy, the Death Egg Robot is getting another remake. But honestly, switching from 2D to a different perspective entirely is pretty cool. Forcing Eggman to hit the mines to climb up his arm is a great way to freshen up a boss fight we've seen redone so many times. God, the City Escape music brings me such an immense amount of joy. In the 2D version, you can get this sick nasty skateboard power-up that really does nothing but put Sonic on a skateboard. And then the 3D level is half a recreation of the original, but also half of its own thing. They went so overboard with the gun truck section too. It's perfect. The damn thing starts trying to saw you in half while it's driving towards you, and at the end the truck starts flying and driving on the wall? Jesus Christ, that's so over the top, and such a fantastic way to remake the stage as well as pay homage to what made it so special in the first place. While I don't hate that Seaside Hill from Sonic Heroes got remade, I feel like they could have picked something more interesting. Even just Grand Metropolis would have been a more varied option. Oh boy, I just got Splash Hill Zone music from my favorite Sonic game, Sonic the Hedgehog 4 Episode 1! The Shadow Rival battle is still a blast, despite it being a little confusing on what to do at first. And then they kick in Live and Learn when you start blasting meteorites at his ass? Oh! The Perfect Chaos fight is great too, which uses the same music, and I like how each phase changes up the playstyle a bit each time. And Metal Sonic is satisfying as well. It doesn't take much effort to beat him, but it just feels nice to sock him in the face, you know? It's still surprising that they remade a Sonic 06 stage, even after all these years. Huh? Where do you think you're going? Out for lunch? Get back here! This Chow with the rainbow wings literally has the skull emoji as a head. Oh my god, Rooftop Run is still way more fun than it has any right to be. Blasting through the streets is just pure bliss. Wow, I forgot how much of a drop in quality Planet Wisp was, especially in Act 1. The stupid spiky wisp slows the game down so much, and just makes it painful to get through. And Act 2 isn't much better. The rocket isn't slow at least, but there's this whole section with conveyor belts, and if you fall, you have to redo most of that section over, and it's a massive pain in the ass. Why does Planet Wisp use these wisps so heavily anyway? Like, seriously, you're using them for 90% of the stage when in Sonic Colors, the wisps were used much more sparingly. It's weird to have a silver fight where the controls are complete ass. Having Supersonic Racing play while racing Tails? You gotta love it. Did you guys know that Egg Dragoon has time for a change of pace? Well, I certainly do after he said it to me like 50 f***ing times. The ending where everyone tells me that I can do it is still really corny and annoying. Like, come on, just let me fight the Time Eater and move on with my day. Well, the Time Eater boss is neat because you go back and forth between 3D and TD. Man, is it tedious. It just feels like it takes forever to get attacks in at all. And for the love of God, if I have to be warned of a homing attack one more time...
Hey, Sonic! Enjoy your future! It's gonna be great!
Well, about that. I mean, things have definitely cleared up the past few years, but you had a rough 2010s, dude. Woo! Dude, you forgetting something? Oh my God, you're right. I gotta pay my water bill! Bro, they copied Nintendo's menu with Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury. Just look at the comparison. This is so unashamedly blatant that I honestly respect it. The fact that Shadow is in this game with his own stages and an entire story dedicated to him is just crazy. Sega was not kidding around when they said 2024 is the year of Shadow. I can't believe Black Doom, of all villains, is making a comeback. This is the best timeline. A freaking Shadow the Hedgehog boss being used in the current Sonic canon. It's just absurd. Man, these new cutscenes look great. They're really nicely animated. I wonder if any of this is going to tie to the third Sonic movie. You can use Chaos Control as an attack. Well, okay, I guess we've kind of been able to do that before, but the way it's utilized here is so smart. Chaos Control slows down time to avoid platforms from falling, as well as enemies from harming you for a brief moment. And you have a double jump too. I cannot tell you how huge this is. It makes movement feel so much smoother and reassuring. This first level, which is Space Colony Arc, was genuinely incredible. I cannot believe how hard Sega cooked here. The level was super varied, fast-paced, you're skating off entire buildings at one point. I mean, my God, there's so much happening at once. Oh my God, they're referencing the fake Chaos Emeralds from Adventure 2. What? Why is there so much Adventure 2 lore? I also really love how Shadow sounds in this game. The voice acting is done perfectly. He still has a dark tone, but it isn't overdone at all. The direction of the acting was done exquisitely. So this entire hub world is like a little Sonic Frontiers level. I am so glad they've stuck with this gameplay style. For the love of God, Sega, don't change this for the next game. We want to keep doing this. Shadow has wings and can just glide now. Okay. It's so good to see Rail Canyon get a remake too. I always loved that stage in Sonic Heroes. Oh my God, they're doing the gun truck thing with the rail train. You can tell the developers had so much fun making this game. What the hell's Orbot doing here? Orbot! What? And there's also a bunch of challenges to tackle just like Sonic Generations. Dude, I am astounded at how much there is to do in Shadow Generations. This is just oh, hell yeah. I am always down for a Biolizard boss fight. And Biolizard was so fun to tackle. You had to bounce off these bubbles to reach them, and use Chaos Control to kick a huge ball of energy back at them. This game portrays Shadow in such a flashy manner. I love it. In case you're wondering, you can fast travel too, so you aren't forced to run around if you don't want to. Even the hub world itself has a bunch of little mini challenges, like getting a bunch of rings before time runs out, or just finding all these hidden chests to unlock artwork and music. And by the way, to unlock these chests, you have to find the same colored rings in the challenge levels, so you're incentivized to find all these rings so you can unlock every chest you find. It's a gameplay loop that goes through multiple cycles, which makes playing it extremely addicting. We got Lost Kingdom from Sonic 06. I'm in awe that we got another Sonic 06 stage, and at this point, I kinda just want the whole game to get remade. I'm dead serious. Please? Sega? You got balls to do it? No. Look, I know it's not gonna happen, but just imagine if it did and how insane that would be. I cannot believe how faithfully well done the Lost Kingdom world is. This entire DLC is a fever dream, dude. Oh, let's go. Big the Cat is here too? I mean, why not? Throw him in. Wait, Sunset Heights? From Sonic Forces? All right, I gotta be honest, I wasn't paying attention to any of the marketing material for this game, so maybe it was revealed a long time ago. But for me, this is brand new. This genuinely shocked me. And you know what's really funny about this whole thing too? Sunset Heights is basically the only original level in that entire game that they could have picked from. I was giggling to myself for like 5 minutes when realizing that. Oh my god, the second act even has the shitty water section that was infamously horrendous to control in Forces. What even is this DLC? I know I've already said this, but the cutscenes really are just so well done. The action sequences are the best we've seen since the Unleashed intro. It's been ages since we've had such dynamic and exciting cutscenes from a Sonic game.
Find somewhere safe to hide. I'll take care of everything.
Literally stands in the middle of white space. Good job, guys. Metal Overlord is a boss in this game. Never in a million years would I expect the final boss from Sonic Heroes to get remade. It's even got a funny Ocarina of Time part in here, bouncing this gem back and forth. Okay, but for real, if Sakurai doesn't add Shadow in the next Smash Bros. Without all these sick moves, I would be a little bit sad. After the Frontiers level, there's a whole cutscene where Sonic just kicks our ass and steals a fake emerald from us. I cannot believe how much lore building they're doing with Adventure 2. This is so weird, but I also love it. Nephiles. F***ing Nephiles is a boss. All right, you know what? Let's just admit it, everyone. The game's not actually real. We're in a simulation. We're being trolled right now by the gods of the simulation. Not a real game. And then the last level is, of course, Radical Highway. Like, Sega, you already cooked, okay? Picking this stage is just overkill to the highest and best degree. Look at how nutty this last level is, too. The roads are flipping around, going all ape shit, so you have to fly around and try to get around them the best you can. This is one of the few moments where I can safely say that it feels like I'm playing and controlling a crazy action movie. Devil Doom and Neo Devil Doom is much more enjoyable fights than Time Eater, that's for sure. Man, I almost wish Shadow Generations had an extra level or two. It felt just a tad too short. But at the same time, I'm also kind of glad the game wasn't that long. More games need to be okay with just being 5 to 8 hours in length. There's no fluff to be found here. It's just pure, unadulterated fun from beginning to end. The Terrio skin is sick looking, but the Sonic Adventure one is kinda just eh. It just doesn't really remind me of Sonic Adventure, I guess. There's something about it that looks a little too cleaned up.
Dude, have you paid your Boulder subscription yet?
Oh, it expires in 20 minutes. Oh no!
I
Oh
figured.
no!
Yeah.